Okay.
It's on? Okay.
Ah, okay. Okay, yes, thank you.
Let's start.
Let's start. Yeah. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this NDC event. I will give you a few themes of today's agenda. We have a few items in our agenda, 6 items. I briefly say to you, item 1 will be an introduction by PTS about the training cycle approach by Gerard and Abdou. The second point will be a short report on CBS activities from last year and the present year, also by Gerard and Abdou. Then in the first item, we will have a few words by German NDC, and Ole Ross will say a few words about the next NPE, NDC preparedness exercise. Then in item number 4, we will have the official, I can do that, the official launch on the new NDC forum. I can announce that. So I will announce by the PTS, and Wolfgang will tell you all about this. And then in the item number 5, we will have the announcement of the availability of the new NDC in a box version. It will be given by Alexander from the PTS. And so for the item 4 and 5, you will have a live demo, both from the new NDC forum and then from the new version of the NDC in a box. Okay, so that's it. And at the end, we can open the discussion for questions, for inputs from NDCs, for ideas of cooperation among NDCs, and also feedbacks or outcomes from you, and any remarks about which was presented, or new ideas to prepare next. So. This is our agenda. So we can move to item number 1, which is an introduction by the PTS about the training cycle approach given by Gerard and Abdou. And you have, I think, a few slides to present. You have a few slides to present? Yeah, okay, so Abdou, please go ahead. Yes.
Thank you, Séverine.
Okay. Okay, thanks so much, Séverine.
Sorry, okay. Gerard, you wanted to say a few words, yes.
Yes, thank you so much. It will be a presentation by the PTS about how we think about the new approach for the training here within the PTS. And based on that, we received from you as NDCs during the workshop, during the working group B, and then we try to combine that and also based on the holistic approach on this. This is a new approach, and then you will have the occasion to discuss it and to see what we think about that. And Abdou and I will try to just summarize what it is about. Then, if you need more question about this or more explanation about that, please just also see what we show in the poster there. It is there. So Abdou, you can.
Thank you, Gerard. My name is Abdou Al-Agrabi. I'm from the IDC Capacity Building and Training section. In this presentation, we will talk about the IDC CBT achievement and activities related to the recommendations collected from the state parties during the workshops and the previous conferences. So we will talk about 4 areas of work required to address the challenges and recommendations. The first one is the tools and to analyze IMS data and for all technologies used, including real time. The second point is the training program, and which should be based on the newly developed NDC in a box package. Number 3 is to continue providing infrastructure support to the national data centers. And number 4 is how to encourage sharing experience between NDCs, means we talk about NDC forums. So for the first point, the tools, you know that, and we will have after my presentation some demonstration on the new and the latest NDC release of the NDC in a box package. The benefits of those softwares is that we will get the real-time automatic processing, which is required from us. Also, with this NDC in a box package, the NDCs will be capable of infrasound and radionuclide data processing. Also, it will enable NDCs to more easily combine IMS data and local data, converting station configuration, arrival and event information between the IDC schema and the SysComp3 data model. Also, with the latest version of the internet-based service for atmospheric transport modeling software, so it will allow the NDCs to use of the ATM tool online system, and this is without software installation and with large amount of data downloaded. The second point is the trainings. For the trainings, the PTS developed the training cycle approach for national data centers. This is TCAN1, where the training cycle falls into a sequence of trainings phases. Each phase is a prerequisite to the following. So we have introductory trainings, and we have intermediate trainings, and we have advanced training. Also, we have some complementary trainings, as you can see here. So we have the introductory trainings. It's the e-learning. So anyone who will want to participate in the 2 weeks SHI training or the 3 weeks radionuclide training, he should do the e-learning modules, as this is a prerequisite to the second level, which is the intermediate one. The intermediate phase, it's a prerequisite to the advanced training, the one month training, NDC training, which is advanced. And all those people who finish the cycle, they still have connected to the e-learning modules if there are any update in the modules, or if there are some new modules to refresh the memory and to improve and sustain what they get during this cycle. All this also is supported by evaluation during the workshop, example, the NDC workshop, symposiums, meetings, conferences, follow-up visits, surveys, and finally, all lessons learned. We will gather all the lessons learned, and we will try to implement in the next release of the training cycle. So this is all what about the new training cycle. For the complementary trainings, we have people who did the cycle before, but it's not complete, and they need more information about some softwares like infrasound, like SysComp. So for that, we have this complementary training to fill in the gaps for those trainees who did the training a few years ago.
Yes, thank you, Abdou. Are there any questions or comments for this part of the presentation for Abdou before we move to the next item? Yes, please.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I have a question about the training cycle approach for national data center. Do you imagine any tools, any procedures in order to let go inside this cycle the experience of the other NDC? It will be, I think that it will be very useful to the transfer of knowledge between NDC. And even in the training cycle that is very well structured, I must say, it could be useful to try to introduce a little bit some facilitators, some example from other NDC. What do you think?
For this training cycle approach, when it's not the cycle approach who changed it, but also the content of each training. And it's based on the lesson learned from the previous trainings. So if you look at each of those trainings, you will find something based on what we get from the NDCs and their feedback and what they can use to be able to participate in the next one. So, and for each training also, we have some evaluation and we have a survey which we gather some information to
And also, we have also in the feedback from the NDC workshops, and from that, we try to introduce and to improve the contents of the training that we have. And there's a process that now we try to have and to implement within the CBT on how to assess and how to evaluate that. But it's under processing, and I'm not going to talk a lot about that, but we are in touch with the QMPM section on how can we assess and evaluate on this. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Gérard.
My question
Yes,
is about if you are planning to make advanced SysCom training.
We can think about that because now, you know, our concern is that there are a lot of applications that we received for the training on the sales camp. And just only we have 14 rooms on each session. And then now we are dealing with this high-level number of applicants that we reach the PTS. And nowadays we have 2 sessions. And next year, we plan to assess what they get from these trainings, and then we'll try to have a next plan with the GEMPA, because they are using the honor of the SAS Camp 3, to plan to have one other high-level or intermediate in the SAS Camp. But this is under work also, that under other. Not inspiration, but something that is in our plan for the next.
Are there other questions? No, so we can move to item 2. So it was about the short report on CBS.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's the next slide. So for the capacity building and for the capacity building systems, the PTS provide capacity building systems to the emerging NDCs. And till now, we get about 63 CBS installed, and 5 CBS are on the process. So by the end, maybe, of this year, we will reach 68 CBSs installed. Not only that, because we have some CBSs installed since many years ago, and we have a new plan, it's the maintenance of those and technical support for those capacity building systems installed a few years ago. And this is why we have these technical visits for CBS maintenance, and the PTS has implemented this technical support program. And since from November 2018 up to now, we achieved about 15% of those CBSs installed. We achieved this, and we upgraded those systems, and we solve it. If there are a problem in the CBS, we solve it by changing some equipments, and in the same time, we changed the operating system to Open CentOS 6 and also with the latest release of the NDC in a box package to allow the NDCs to use the SysComp, means real-time detection, and also to use, they can use all the features which we have in the NDC in a box package. Our plan is to achieve about 20% 20% of those CBSs to be upgraded by the end of this year. And this maintenance plan will continue in the next few years.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Question? Yeah.
Thank you. I have a question about these 5 CBS not installed. I'm from Nepal. We are contacted in 2016 for the installation of the system. But after that, we are not in touch, or we didn't get any response from CTBTO. So I want to know, so what are the program or what is required about it, yeah.
Thank you. You are from Nepal, huh? I know this situation. So for Nepal, the equipment is ready, and we are waiting you to send us where to send this equipment. And we are in contact with your national authority about that, okay? So, and we are waiting that you nominate the institution where we should install this equipment.
As far I remember, I already have sent the institution and the name of the contract in 2016, in fact.
Yeah, you know that it should come through the permanent mission.
Yeah, it came from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from Nepal.
We have the latest information. It was a few months ago, okay? And your national authority told us to wait till they sent us the right place where to install this equipment. This is what I can say about this.
I think that we should talk about together about that, not here. But before we all leaving, I think that should be nice that we talk on that, because it's something that you have to fix somewhere.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there other questions?
Question? Or microphone? Microphone, where are you?
Yeah, where's the question?
I'm from Japan. Japan is other secure signatory accounts. What is other secure signatory account? So we don't recognize about the capacity building CBS in Japan.
Okay. The secure signatory account is the first designation form sent by the national authority to the PTS, where they nominate the principal point of contact. This is what does it mean, secure signatory account.
And then especially for Japan, the CBS are mainly installed normally in the developing countries. We request that. And then the funds coming from, for example, from the EU, from US also, and those equipment will be dedicated to help and to assist, support the developing country to have access to IMS data and the use of the IDC products.
No other questions?
Can move.
No. Okay, so...
We have the last slide.
Ah,
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
Just
Yes.
to say, because we have number 4, as I said, it's the NDC forum, and you will have a demonstration with my colleague about that. But just to say that this is the old NDC forum, and this is the new one with more features, like videos, like demonstrations. So, and my colleague, he will do a demonstration on that.
Just a little word about that. I remember that during the NDC workshop that we had in Algiers last year, you required to have you NDCs, you require to have this new forum. And then now it's available. You will see the demonstration later. But what we ask you to do is that please use it. Please be active on it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Abdou and Gerard. And yes, of course, as a task leader of NDC issues and capacity building, encourage you also very much and very strong to use this new version of the forum. It's very important to share experience, questions, and feedbacks by this way. So we will have a demonstration just after the item number 3, which is about the next NPE, and Ole Ross will say a few words about this. Please, Ole.
Yeah. Thank you, Severine. Yeah. As you know, the National Data Center Preparedness Exercise have now quite a history of evolution over 12 years, with scenarios becoming more and more complex and involving more and more technologies. After we had prepared the first six scenarios in 2015, we started a discussion process to rethink the way the NPE is organized, as the NDC Germany wanted also other NDCs to step into the control teams and to organize scenarios. We had then in 2015 a very complex scenario organized by a multinational team. Had in 2017 at the SntT again discussions, what are the needs of the NDC, what are they expecting from NPEs, and had an intermediate step in 2017 with the scenario which was purely based on background detections and real data from the IMS, which also should encourage the use of the data fusion tool on the secure web portal. So that it was about hypothetical linking of real radionuclide level C and level 5 detections with real seismic events. Now for the next NPE, we intend to go again more classical, scenario-based, and luckily the Italian NDC volunteered to provide the core of a scenario and is developing this together with my colleague Nicola Gestermann from the German NDC and me. And we had already fruitful discussions and are on a good way, and expect the next NPE scenario to be announced in mid of October this year. So if there are questions now on the general process or wishes which you want to express to the NPE, you can do so, but we don't want to repeat this extensive discussions of the last two SntT conferences. Are there direct questions on the NPE?
Yeah, thank you very much for that information. I don't know, over the years at the Kenyan NDC, we have been getting information about forthcoming NPEs, but all of a sudden that communication stopped. So we are left in the dark. We don't know when, where, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So
that may be an issue because of that our mailing list, which we use for that, is not up to date. We will try to distribute the scenario information also to all principal users, so that we ask the IDC to forward our mail, so that all principal users will be informed about the scenario start. But on the other hand, for a long time there were no emails concerning NPE, so I think end of 2017 for the scenario announcement were the last NPE emails. So it's no mistake if you haven't get an email for now 1.5 years.
Maybe I would ask of Israeli NDC to make some complex scenario, because for our experience, some features of Fusion tool did not work, and it is only possibility to test them. So please think about it.
Christian?
Yeah, thank you. Could you say anything what we can expect regarding the next scenario? Will it again make use of background measurements? Because I think this was a very convenient way for establishing NPE.
I think we are more thinking on a scenario which is also then contains simulated data.
And you said in October it will be issued.
Yes, I said this.
And the result will be discussed during normally the next NDC workshop.
This is what we think, yes? If there is next year an NDC workshop, this would be the place where the results can be presented and the exchange will take place.
Yes.
I want to add that we intend to provide a significant part of the scenario through the NDC forum to engage the people to use this forum, and we think it will be necessary to, if you want to participate, to use this forum. So this is an important part of the NDC NPE scenario.
Yes, great. I think it's a very good idea, and yes, it's a good way to launch this new version of the forum. So thank you for that. Yes.
Also, I can add something, is that all the old scenarios, we have it in the NDC forum. We added all the old scenarios in the NDC forum. If anyone who wants to work on them, he can use.
Thank you very much for doing this.
Yeah, and it's a good transition. If there is no other questions about the...
There is one.
Ah, yes. So, David.
Oh, thank you. I was struggling for a question, but now I have one. Firstly, I would just like to say that this whole MPE scenario thing that we've been going through since 2007 is a fantastic way of testing and finding out what we know and what we don't know. And of course, that applies to the PTS as well as the NDCs. But my question then is on Abdu's, and thank you for your presentation. My question then is, you say the things are going to be transferred to this new NDC forum. A long time ago, from the early MPEs, we posted, the UK NDC posted extensive reports on the early MPEs and our analysis. Would that be transferred to this new NDC forum? Because that would then form potentially an archive of information of what we've done well and frankly what we've not done so well. And that really speaks to how we're learning collectively as a community of researchers and as NDCs, and how we communicate with the policymakers about what we know and what we don't know. And it would seem then that could actually feed into how we might go about testing ourselves in a much bigger forum, which would be maybe the commissioning of the IDC or whatever. So would the previous contributions which are on this forum, which the Italian NDC ran for many years, could they be transferred? That would be great. Thanks.
And maybe my colleague, Wolfgang, he's working on that now, and he can give you the right answer.
Yes, so thank you for the question. As you pointed out, that material was posted to the Italian forum, if I understood it correctly. And we don't have access to that. So if someone can give us the data, we are happy to upload it into the new forum. But for the time being, we don't have it.
Okay.
Other question? No? Okay, so we can move now to a forum, to the live demonstration by Wolfgang of the new NDC forum. Yeah. We are excited to see that.
All right. So, one of my colleagues just a few minutes ago posted the pertinent change notifications of the launch of the new NDC forum. And some of you will find it on your mobile phones, I suppose. You don't have to write down the link here. It's contained in the pertinent change notification. But in general, you can reach now the forum through ndcforum.ctbto.org. Is that readable? Or also in the back rows? Anyhow, so when you go... When you go to the new homepage, ndcforum.ctbto.org, you find two options, either to log in or to sign up for an account. Sign up is only for those people that don't have single sign-on credentials. We have a hybrid model where we can have local users on the forum from NDCs, but typically you would go to login and then use this with CTBTO single sign-on option, which gets you right to the login page that you are familiar with. Okay. Did I miss something?
Yes.
It's difficult to type here. Wonderful. All right, so here we are. This is the home. Is that microphone working? This is the homepage of the NDC forum. On the left side, you have a kind of a navigation hierarchy. You can see there is a topic SHI NDC in a box. Thanks. With all its components as subcategories. You find, or I find, the alpha tester group category with the current NetVisa alpha test as a subcategory. There you see this is a restricted group, so we have a number of participants in this alpha test that have access to this, but you will not see it. NDC workshops, etc., etc. So we tried to build a structure, logical structure, on NDC topics. Then on the right-hand side, you find a list of latest posts, topics. And so this is the newest content. Now, we want this to be a kind of knowledge-sharing platform, and therefore search is very important. You will find a very powerful search feature at the top, at the magnifying glass icon. Let me just... And you just need to type your search terms, and the system will come back with the best matches that it finds. What I want to point out is this one here. We have in the last NP actually, we published this tutorial on how to process hydroacoustic data with NDC in a box. It was a lengthy document with lots of text and commands and so on and so forth, many screenshots. What I want to get to is at the end here, you will find the same content now as video tutorials, structured into 3 lessons: configuration and processing parameters, processing and with DTK PMCC, and finally analysis with GeoTool. So you can follow the video tutorials and see exactly what has been done by the author of the post. And this is open to everyone. So if you think you have an informative use case that you want to share with the community, just record your desktop, make a video tutorial, and post it to the forum. You can just open a new topic, drag and drop the video into the post, and that's it. So another feature we're going to use extensively is the no. There's too much going on. I don't find the old posts anymore. Yeah. There we go. So what I wanted to show you for the trainings, you will find these meetings here that are identified with a date, so you can create events on the forum with a specific date. Post the material, and that's mostly up to us to post training materials and workshop materials. And then after the event, you can upload, for instance, pictures of the event and everything that was produced during the event. Yes, and that basically highlights what I think are the most promising collaboration features, knowledge sharing features. It's really a sharing platform that will live with your content. So we encourage you to participate in the forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wolfgang, and special thanks to PTS for this new version. It's very impressive, and it seems to be very convenient to use, very friendly, with lots of possibilities to share different types of documents and experience. So very promising. So thank you very much for this. And we hope that everyone will use this new forum to share things and experience and question, and especially those NDC who cannot come to Working Group B. Also, please use this forum, and it's also a good way for us to have input or to have ideas of problems or difficulties or whatever, and to report after that on during the Working Group B, during the NDC issues and capacity building session. So it's really a good way to collect also input from the NDCs. So I think it's very promising. Thank you very much. Are there any questions about the forum, this new forum? No? Okay, so let's use it. And so we can move to the next item, which is the availability of the new NDC in a box version. And I don't know, Alexander will say a word, and you have a live demo, right? Also, okay. So your turn.
Severin, thank you very much. My name is Alexander Poplovsky. I'm a services officer at Capacity Building Training Station. I want to briefly demonstrate to you, introduce you into NDC in the box pipeline processing that we provide to state signatories, to national data centers. Since release NDC in the box SHI components number 4. Before that, the NDC in the box was included only components for data reception, so it's the CD tools, and for manual processing. But since many requests from state signatories, they asked for some automatic processing tool, because it's very difficult to process the data only to have this only manual tools for that. So we started the project in 2014. That's a 2 years project, and start looking which tool can be used for these purposes. And our choice was in the SysComp3 software, likely most widely distributed software for these purposes for automatic processing. Some theoretical introduction to that. You can see this scheme from the right side. There is source of the data. In particular, IMS station data are being received by NDC, by delivery to NDCs, and received by using CD tools, software, CD receiver. Those information in CD 1.0 and CD 1.1 format are transformed on fly by using CD to SC model into mini-SID data format. Along with the IMS station data, National Data Center can receive seismic data from many different sources. First of all, there's the information from global network that's available for free from the internet. You can easily just send the address and start receiving the data from many thousands of stations. At the same time, if NDC operates with some particular seismic equipment, you can directly connect to this equipment, and in this case, something like kinemetrics, RefTech, and also receive into the SysComp. All information are stored in the SysComp3 archive in mini-SID format and made available for automatic processing. Along together with SysComp3 standard processing components such as SC AutoPeak and C Event, SC Autolog, IDC developed and integrated into SysComp specific models. First of all, they're intended for processing of arrays, seismic arrays and infrasound and hydroacoustic. First of all, this is the model SC, the called SC-DFX is the IDC array detector in order to process data from seismic arrays, and DTK PMCC detector is to process data from hydroacoustic and infrasound stations. Also, you can see you can choose which locator can be used: standard locator for the SysComp, or you can configure IDC locator. That works pretty good in terms of defining of depth. We are working on the specific associator in the called NDC NetVisa that currently are already used in the NDC and produce some DCL bulletin that are available also to in the external database. It's under testing phase, and I think it will come together with the SizeComp for the next release. All information are processed and stored into SizeComp free database, in the SizeComp free specific format, and automatically populates into this information into HDB database to make this data available in the C format for the further interactive review by using the GEA tool. Also, at the same time, station inventory, so the non-IMS station can be added into OSDB database in CSS format. So for that, just once you add the station, run the model inf to CSS, and have the station available in the GEA tool for processing, for manual processing. At the same time, if data from metadata from IMS station can be added into SizeComp free inventory in SizeComp free XML format by using the CSS to inf model. This model is not highlighted. That means this needs to be run just once the station are added. At the bottom, you can see the MSM model. That's create links into OSDB database to the archive, to file archived into SizeComp free. So that means GEA tool have direct access to the SizeComp free archive and to make this, to process those data manually. I will demonstrate you some live how did this system work in real time. I had the machine I connected to server, not really the server, that's a normal office computer that's currently running receive in real time about 20 IMS station arrays and free component stations, and at the same time receive the real-time data from ARIS network, IU network. Those stations you can see this on their location of the station you can see on the map as the view of free angels, and also can see this events, earthquakes detected by SizeComp. There is cycles depending on the depth of this event. You can see the different color is shallow, it's in red, or deep event in the green like this. Next graphical user interface is a real-time viewer for all traces that received by system, how this configured, and you can see the many traces from the right side. The first column is the station code. Next, the network it belongs to, and type of the channel. On the channel, you can see the peaks detected on those traces. If you look at the IMS seismic arrays, you cannot see nothing because only the peaks, because it's operated on the FK beam. That is some kind of virtual channel and can be displayed. So there is no waveforms associated with FK beam because it's calculated and deleted the system. That we are thinking about how to make this more, how to show those channels on the SRTV. That's very many NDC very like this tool. And results of automatic processing we can find on the COLV. This is also a SizeComp free graphical user interface tool, provide standard tools. There is the list of events detected by this combined IMS network and IRISnet network. This event detected during the last day, 24 hours. If we want to look to some details of the event, you can see there's some parameters, time, coordinates, and how many phases are associated with the event. Just double click on that, and we switch to location tab and can see the coordinates of the event and list of the phases that are associated with the event. Standard SysComp3 tools, so kind of picker. If you click on the picker, you can see those phases. Some of them without some traces because of, again, they belong to seismic arrays, IMS seismic arrays. This SysComp is not really intended to work with that. But if we can easily process data from free component station, that SysComp is really was designed for these purposes. But this picker is not intended for in the IDC pipeline for manual processing. We assume that the data will be processed by JET tool. So I switch to the next screen. The JET tool is already running. What I need, if I want to process the event and refine the coordinates, just connect to database and put some time interval where I looking for this data. For instance, I put this last 12 hours. So and when I click list table, I see the list of events detected last 12 hours. If I choose the latest one, it's on the bottom of the list, and click display waveforms. On the screen, we can see all waveforms are all waveforms of all stations, together with the arrivals detected on that. It might take some time, yes, because it's about 500 channels, because all seismic all channels of seismic arrays also are displayed on the screen. Will take some time. By the way, this is the last release of SHI software, version number 5, that's operating on the CentOS 7 operating system. Is done. So when I click option and locate events, I can see those events that I have looked. If I click on the latest one, I see the phases, list of phases at the top of the table arrivals. And since the event has chosen for that, for further processing, I can close it and find phases associated with the event highlighted in the frame. You can see for instance, this P phase. Next, what we usually recommend to do this for analysts, we have make this traces. These traces ordered by time, by time. I just align. Yes. Yes. Time and by sort by distance. So that means the station and the closest to the event will be on the top on the list. And again, I want to align so by time predicted. Yes, now we have on the time scale, the time is marked as 0, 0, 0s. So it's the theoretical time of when the P wave are expected to received on those stations. We already have some phases are associated with the event. There's many, actually there's many. But for the station that not have these peaks, just what we usually do is, let me see this better example. Filter those channels and find phases by selecting different frequency bands. We have we expected this vertical line, so around these zeros, have this on P phases. Okay, this maybe. As the 1034 is not all stationary is able for different reason to receive, to register this event. Let me choose another one. Actually, they belongs to the station belongs to Iris network. This frequency station. Yes. No. For example, this one. We found the phase. Actually, the P phase that can theoretically can be that can belongs to the event, and just add P phase. So you can see this appears on the screen. I go unzoom again, and if you click again, locate event, you can find this extra phase added to associated with the event, and click locate. You can improve. Sorry, you can improve the location of the event. So this is what we proposed to national data centers. This pipeline is already installed. During this maintenance or follow-up visit, we installed this new version NDC in a box into national data centers, into capacity building system. And it's about more than 10. It's already operated with this NDC in a box pipeline, and they're very happy on that. So they have a very warm feedback about this software. And usually, this I would say this with next level. It's not only IMS station. It's combined. They can build their own network, combining different stations. That is a very big achievement from ADC to PTS. So thank you very much. That's everything that I want to talk. Sorry for taking too long.
Oh, thank you very much, Alexander. Thank you. Yeah, sure. Yes.
I wanted to just spend a few words on the new version of NDC in a box, version 5, that was also released today, and you find the pertinent change notification in your inbox. We completely reworked the installation mechanism. So from now on, you can install NDC in a box once through the Red Hat package management system, and from then on, keep updating your installations as we release new software. And software will be released frequently when we get updates from our partners like Gempa, CA, etc. So we will not, there will be several minor releases, but we will keep updating packages as they become available and as testing is completed. So that's the main point that I wanted to add to this.
Yes, thank you, Wolfgang, for this precision. It's, yes, much more convenient like that for the reinstallation and the update. So are there any questions for the PTS about this new release of the NDC in a box package? Yes, there are.
Yeah, thank you, Alex, for that presentation. I'm just wondering, for the non-IMS stations, because I see you switching between SciSCOM 3 and GeoTool. For the non-IMS stations, do you have to update the static tables?
Yes, exactly for that. And the scheme, they show this model CSS inf to CSS from non-IMS stations. Yes, it's easily to do if you have these stations in the inventory in the SysComp3 XML format. It's working only with that format. So as soon as you get this transform, either from a data less format, mini-C data less format from different from many other formats, that SysComp actually is the models. Transformation models that are provided by SysComp, so it's easily to do this, of course. I would say it's need to do, because otherwise you cannot have this station processed in the GA tool.
Yeah, hi. As a former active user of NDC in the box, I can maybe make a small remark that my colleague and I also had during the processing data from SysComp in GeoTool. In case of running of Proc2 CSS module, you get a lot of detections at the waveforms. And for example, if you wanted to open data in GeoTool, again to process, for example, without any event, just to process and to find the new one maybe missed, you will get too much detections in that windows. That in case if you put some new phases, you also will get it with the previous one that are really present. Here, it's questions that I think it's, maybe you have to check how may. For example, in my NDC, we are simply unmark send detection to in the Proc2 CSS model because of if our analyst wanted to process data, first of all, he has to delete all the phases, and just after that, he starts processing and picks the new one. And this is some question to check. Thank you.
Many thanks for the question. If you feel that you have this too many peaks, too many arrivals on the waveforms, I think that the issue of tuning of your detector, that's maybe increase the threshold or to this. Many other tools are available for here. Is this? I would say is tuning of detection is some kind of scientific work on that, to have some kind of balance in between normal, in between the arrivals that really belongs to the real events, or just maybe false alarms, false arrivals. I think is solvable by engineers of your NDC, and I think you'll find solution. It's not the issue of NDC in the box. If we just give you the tool, but how you use the tool, how you tune the tool is your.
It is not an issue. It's just a little bit uncomfortable. You have some. You have to make some additional movies before starting the process. Just this one.
Okay. Yes, it's maybe we can derive some recommendation about that, how to tune the station, how to tune the detector. But SysComp system, because most of the detector is working, is talking about SysComp3 detector. The Gempa company has a very good developed documentation and recommendation. Also provided SysComp3 training for this purpose. So that I think you can easily solve this problem.
Any other question? I see no question. So we are almost done. We have done with our 5 items. Are there any other business or questions? It's the time to share some thoughts that you could have about NDC issues. No? So I, just to close the session, before closing the session, I would say a few words about the next working group B. We will have the NDC issues and capacity building session on the first day, the 29th of August, from 3 to 6 p.m. And we will have a usual item on our agenda. You have a draft agenda, the first version in the first version of the briefing material, which was published on the ECS. And so we will have a status of the PTS capacity building and training. We will have a status of the PTS multi-year action plan for capacity building. We will do a little summary of this session, of this NDC event at the SntT conference. And then we will have 3 items during which you can give input, and you are encouraged to give inputs. This is about the cooperation between NDCs. It's the usual item. It includes the use of a NDC forum, and perhaps it's a good occasion to give first feedback of the use of this new version of the forum. We will have also the status of development, testing and use of software for NDC. So there is also room, space for you to present something if you wish. If you NDC wants to present something about the use of and the test of software, please do not hesitate. You can contact me, and I will be happy to add it to the agenda. So yes, it can be on the new version, but over of former version, it's no problem to share your experience with NDC in a box. It can be very precious for other NDCs as well. And we have also the usual item of use of IMS data and IDC products to mitigate the impact of natural and other catastrophes. So on this item, PTS will not present something special, so you are free also to give inputs to that item if you wish. That's it. So yes, now I wanted to thank you again, the speakers. Thank you, Ole. Thank you all the PTS members for the presentations. And yes, I thank you also the participants. You have been very brave to be here in such a schedule and during this evening so late. So thank you again for your participation. And so I close the session. Thank you.
Super. Weißt du, was wir noch machen zum Schluss? Ja,
noch da?
Ja, wie läuft's?
Aus.
Wie sieht's aus?
So angehärtet.
Nein.
Du gehst drauf, holst dir aber einen Klicker und du holst dir die Maus und die Tastatur. Die Namensschilder sind das.
Ist das den ganzen Tag so gewesen?
Aber nicht oder?
Keine Ahnung.
Ja, das waren die vorher. Ja, aber
Achso, so gut. Wenn du noch da bist, du kannst auch gerne gehen. Mit Dülle.
Ja, kann man sehen. Definitiv, dafür sind wir da. Ja, vielen Dank, alles Gute. Bis morgen. In 2 Jahren. In 2 Jahren. Ja, ich besuche meinen Cousin. Alles Gute.
Also wir gehen rum und stellen Fragen.